Hello, everyone, once again. This is Rob, and welcome back to Media Awareness and another first reaction video. This time to the Amazon Prime original series, The Rings of Power, the first glimpse of season 2, which is scheduled for release later this summer, 2024. I'm really excited for this. Before I get to this, though, I do want to remind you all that the fundraiser continues. For those of you unaware, I am a disabled individual, and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter all day, every day for my independence, and I need your help desperately. My insurance will not cover anything with regard to my scooter. They view it as a luxury item, and therefore I'm reaching out to you, my YouTube community, for your help. Below the title of this video, in the description, as well as in a separate section below that, you'll find a spot fund link. Any and all help is welcome. It takes a few seconds to contribute, and your contributions make a world of difference. They really do go far, and they do add up over time, so even the littlest amounts are helpful. I do want to state that I'm currently in the midst of trying to refurbish my existing scooter. Um, it's a lengthy process, and I'm far from reaching the target goal of the fundraiser. So your assistance at this point in time is crucial. I really need to get these parts and be able to uh, cover the cost of the technicians to install these parts, because that is the most costly of these factors. The technicians, but the parts themselves are pricey as well, but the actual labor has gone up considerably um, over the years, and it's imperative that I have a functioning scooter. I pride myself on my independence. I thrive on my independence, and although I'm not completely independent in my everyday life, I don't want to be completely dependent on everyone for everything. I have always been very independent, and whatever I can do, I want to continue doing. My scooter is crucial to that. I'm unable to walk whatsoever. I'm also unable to use any other type of scooter or a wheelchair for that matter, due to only having limited use of one hand. I'm also unable to uh, use any type of backup wheelchair or scooter because I don't have one. This is all I have. So it is really, really dire at this point. And I do want to thank those who have contributed, in addition to those who plan on contributing, as your contributions have and will make a world of difference in my life, as they already have considerably. But like I said, I'm far from reaching that target goal. Please do what you can. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and becoming part of the ever growing media awareness YouTube family. I'd love to have you. So, we have a new Rings of Power trailer. I know this is a really divisive series for many Tolkien fans. I have been a Tolkien fan since the late 1970s. I wasn't even a teenager at that point, and my one aunt had given me a paperback copy of The Hobbit, and uh, I, due to my visual limitations, I ended up getting it on audiobook, on cassette from the Library for the Blind at that point in time. And I read The Hobbit numerous times. I loved it. Read The Lord of the Rings. I loved it. And I was one of the first people to see The Fellowship of the Ring when it came to local theaters back in with the initial release of The Fellowship. And I was blown away. I had always been a fan of the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings, believe it or not, and as incomplete as it is. And I feel that Peter Jackson did draw some inspiration from that film. For those of you unaware, it was an animated adaptation of The Lord of the Rings, partially done in the late 1970s, and it was done using primarily live action rotoscoping for most every scene, which was really interesting to watch, and it had a really unique look to it. I have it on Blu-ray, and I watch it quite frequently, along with the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings on DVD, which I need to upgrade to Blu-ray on that, but I digress. The Rings of Power Season 1, I enjoyed. I do recognize the fact that a lot of creative liberties were taken with the material. There wasn't a lot of source material to necessarily go on to build a cohesive backstory to the extent that Amazon did. So I do applaud them for what they did in all actuality. And I'm really quite impressed with what they were able to accomplish given their limited ownership of material. So they gave us a story that worked very well in the world of Middle Earth, and I was glued to it each and every week. So now we have a final glimpse of what season 2 will hold. So we're going to watch this together. If this video is blocked, you will have the link below, as always, with all my reaction videos. And I would also urge you all to click that link anyway, because you can watch it unhampered by me in a box up there somewhere, like a mime. A mime in the box. Except not quite a very talented mime. That and I talk way too much. And I was unfortunately never trained by Lindsay Kemp to be a very good mime. That would have been amazing. I don't know how I would pull that off with my limited dexterity, but I would have found a way, because it would have been trained from Lindsay Kemp. So that would have been amazing. But nevertheless, that did not occur. I'm not a professional mime. I am just me. A retired counselor, a aspiring author, and a YouTube content creator, evidently, because here we are about to react to The Rings of Power, the teaser trailer for Season 2, and I'll be back following this with my thoughts on what we saw together. Well, we're starting out with a good image here. This is a good shot of Mordor, it looks like. I'm not going to talk during this teaser trailer. I'm not going to be stopping the video. I'm just going to watch it intently, and like I said, I'll give my thoughts afterwards.
An evil, ancient and powerful, has returned.
Prepare yourselves.
He worms his way inside your mind. The crest of him slithers in.
I think he has been here. I think he's been here among us all along.
Every soul in Middle-earth is in peril.
about you guys, but that looks pretty spectacular to me. And there's a lot more lore-friendly material there. It seems like going back to what had appeared in the Silmarillion, which is a divisive novel as well, collection of stories. It's not really a cohesive novel. That book always was really frustrating to read for me, but I did read it quite some time ago when I was reading Tolkien when I was in middle school because I was that guy, yes. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be spellbinding. And that shot of Mordor at the beginning, evidently Sauron just overlooking, I'm guessing. I mean, that shot right there would have had me sold on this season. But what we got to see, there's a lot going on. We see some chaos with the dwarves and the dwarven city. And we see a lot going on. Mines of Moria. That was always one of my favorite parts of the books, was the Mines of Moria. Despite the fact it's a small portion, I was always fascinated by the Mines of Moria and sort of the secrets that they held deep within the depths and the history that occurred there. So I'm liking the direction this is taking. Of course, we have the elves doing their thing and all of them banding together against this common foe of Sauron and Mordor itself. And it really is a captivating trailer. If I had any flaw, it's a nitpick, but it is something I'm going to mention because it actually bothered me. And I know I really can't talk to anyone about this or tell anyone my gripes because they're not going to listen. So you guys are listening right now, so you get to hear my gripe. And that is sort of the panoramic shot of our heroes in the circle that has become very cliche, if you will, from the Avengers onward. And it doesn't matter what franchise it is, we have a shot like that, where the camera just spins around and we get a good look at our heroes in a defensive posture, which wouldn't be far from the truth as far as how they would be standing. It's just that shots like that are really starting to become slightly overused, in my humble opinion. So hopefully that's not a big thing. I don't think it will be. I think it was merely to illustrate the tone of that particular portion of the series that we'll be seeing apparently starting on August 29th of 2024. And I'm excited. I really, really am. Like I said, I enjoyed The Rings of Power Season 1. And I personally, I didn't have any problems with it. And I'm going to explain why. There is something known as creative liberties, and I recognize that creative liberties oftentimes are necessary. Also, Amazon and people can argue this all they want. You can argue in the comment section. Be my guest. start an argument with me, I'll banter back and forth with you until the show starts and beyond. But it's interesting because Amazon gets a bad rap for a lot of its adaptations, whereas I praise what they do. I was thoroughly impressed with all four seasons of The Man in the High Castle. One of the most, how can I put this kindly? The novel is good, and it's really thought provoking, but it is not a detailed novel. And what Amazon was able to do as far as fleshing out characters and adding detail and adding characters to an existing story was magnificent, and I loved The Man in the High Castle. Electric Dreams, for those of you who are not familiar with that, it was a series also based on Philip K. Dick's material as well. And I have a questionably legal or illegal copy, I'm not sure which to say, on my shelf behind me and in my one Philip K. Dick section, so to speak, along with Total Recall, and I do have to move Blade Runner down there as well, but I have not had the chance yet. I digress. Amazon has done a fine job, in my opinion, on many of their adaptations. More so, I think, than a lot of other studios. And I'm not trying to call anyone out on that. It's a fact. It is really, really difficult to adapt an intellectual property in a manner that's going to appeal to a mass audience. And Amazon struck gold recently with Fallout, based on the Fallout video game series, of which I played a couple of the games so far. So it's an accurate portrayal of that alternate universe, and they're very good at alternate universes. They did it with Man in the High Castle, as stated, and they really, really, really nailed it with Fallout. Now, the Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings series, is something that Tolkien once had said that his goal in writing the Lord of the Rings was to sort of give a backstory to history that we didn't have. And in addition to that, he created a language of the elves as well. So he went all out. And apparently motorcycles are running through my neighborhood, and I guess Mad Max is on its way. But I digress again. It's, for me, I'm at a point now where I appreciate more of the visual adaptations of Tolkien's work, as opposed to the literary. And maybe it's my age, maybe it's the fact that I read them when I was so young, but I read them, I devoured them numerous times, and it became part of my childhood, right alongside, Star Trek, the original series, the Planet of the Apes original television series back then, Space 1999. There wasn't a lot of fantasy, though. There was and there wasn't. But in the 1970s, it was really sort of this dry landscape, really, for fantasy. And fantasy started to really make a dent in media in the early 1980s, and it's just continued onward, and it had its ups and downs and its peaks and valleys. But I feel like this is a good return to a time that we all know and love, and that is the time of Middle Earth. For those of us who do really love it, and it makes me want to go back and read some of the things that I read years ago, because it has been years. At the same time, having not read them in years gives me a fond appreciation for what the visual presentations have been, between Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit series, as well as now the Rings of Power Season 2. So we shall see what this brings. Like I said, I was impressed with Season 1. If you want my thoughts on that in a more detailed manner, just let me know in the comments section or in a private message via Facebook. You can find my Facebook link in the description. You can also find my email address there as well. If you want to contact me there, feel free. I do check my Facebook more often though, so your best bet is to reach out to me there if at all possible. This is Rob with Media Awareness. I hope you enjoyed this really enthusiastic reaction. I am really excited, and I cannot wait to see this series at the end of August, beginning of September, August 29th, 2024. Mark your calendars, people, because it will be here before you know it. So, this is Media Awareness, and I hope that was an enlightening reaction for you all. I hope you're able to share in that with me. And like I said, do click on the source link below for better audio and video quality, and without me and as the mime in the box up there somewhere. Yeah. So, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, noon, or night. Take care. Bye.